What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ronnie.
And on today's program, we are going to be joined by David Power from Church of Mexico. He's going to talk about what he does to keep kids before they get sex trafficked.
Yes.
So he has
preventative measures.
Preventative, yes. He has a ministry in Mexico, so he's going to talk a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. And then we're also going to talk to
Marcia Hernandez from Brush It Art Studio.
We're going to talk to her and Brush It. I'm not much of an artist, but I know they host like painting events and stuff. Have you checked it out?
I've never been there, but yeah, she uses it for therapy and then turned it into a whole business.
Maybe we'll do it. I know. Team building. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
And streaming right now online through the KAWC YouTube and Border Radio Facebook pages. And send us an email to whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter is sponsored by Yuma Electric Service, LLC, serving the Yuma area for more than 25 years. YumaElectricServiceLLC.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of the What's Up Yuma radio show. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ronnie.
And I hope everyone had a great 3-day weekend.
I did.
You did?
I did.
What'd you do, Ronnie?
Oh my God, I went to the movies. I had a date night. We went swimming. My kids stayed at my mom's. We had a sleepover. I mean, we just did so much.
That's a lot. That's great. That sounds like a perfect 3-day weekend.
I don't know if it was relaxing.
I
did so much.
Swimming's nice, though.
I love swimming.
Yeah, swimming, you know.
We have a pool, so we swim all the time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
What about you?
I just chilled.
Just chilled.
I chilled, yeah, especially yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, even my son wanted me to take him something to his mom's house. I was like, I'm not leaving the house. I DoorDashed.
Take yourself.
Yeah, I DoorDashed food, and I was like, I just relaxed yesterday.
Good.
Yeah, it was great. So hopefully everybody else got to relax. Because it's Labor Day, you're supposed to take the break and not work. I think it's against the law to actually work on Labor Day.
You will get arrested.
Yeah, I think that's a whole thing. But no, let's get to the guest. We have a great guest today. Welcome, David Power. Good morning, David.
Good morning. What's up, Yuma?
Hey, there you
so
go.
Great to be here with you guys.
Good to have you. And did I get it right? Is it Church of Mexico or Church Mexico?
Church Mexico.
Church Mexico. There's no of in there?
That's correct.
Okay, now we know.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah, when I heard it back, I was like, I think I said that wrong, so I wanted to clear. Church Mexico.
You got it.
All right. And local Yuma boy?
Yes, sir. Born and raised, third generation.
And you mentioned off air that I know your nephew, and I think everybody knows your nephew. And here's a funny thing about your nephew. I get confused for him all the time.
Okay.
Are we talking about Tyler?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we are in the same exact graduating class at Cibola. I went to all 4 years of high school with him.
That's awesome.
Everybody knows Tyler, like you said.
So
You get confused.
I do. And I don't know what, I don't think we look alike. We do.
No.
Like we have a beard and stuff like that, and we wear a hat, and I think that's about it.
Okay.
And we're
We
white.
both rap, right?
Yeah, we both rap.
that's
That's
true.
true. That's true. Yeah, we both rap.
Social media guys, but I would not confuse you guys.
I would be in the checkout lane at Fry's, and people, the cashier would be like, "Oh, I love your cheesecakes. Your cheesecakes are so good."
You're like, I like it too.
It's like, oh, I'm not who you think I.
But
I'm
thank
like,
you.
You know, I do radio.
Yeah,
and you don't know me. You know Tyler. He makes cheesecakes, but I tease him all the time.
Cheesecakes are world famous now, bro.
They really
Teases
are.
They are
creations.
world famous.
He just went on a
come from
tour
all over.
too.
Oh,
He
yeah?
went like all over.
We're going to have to get him on the show. The first time, I just got to bring this up. I know we're going to
Okay.
get to important things, but the first time, he used to have like a car wash business.
Oh.
And I was at Red Moon, and a guy came up to me and was like, "What you did to my car, I will never forgive you," this and that. Like that. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, I have no idea." And then I was like, "Oh, Tyler washes cars sometimes, you know?" And it was just a
no.
misunderstanding and stuff.
That's funny.
But anyway, David, you're here
Enough
on the
about
show.
Tyler.
Enough about Tyler.
That's hilarious.
You're on the show.
Oh, bring him on, man. It'd be
Yeah, we
good
want
have him
to.
on. He's fun.
So Yuma, born and raised?
Born and raised, third generation. My grandfather, my grandmother came from Texas and Oklahoma back in the day, and they settled down on the river bend down there, farmed for many years. They took desert land and made it productive crops, and they own lots and lots of property down there, and then sold some of that and actually bought the foothills at one point in time.
Bought the foothills.
In the early 1900s, and they're the ones that sold it to Hank Sheckard, I believe. His name.
Okay.
So been around for a while.
That's pretty interesting. So Oklahoma and Texas, you said both.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they met over there or met here. They came.
But they
together.
came from
must have
Oklahoma?
met. Yes, sir.
And so that's another interesting thing. I'm going to go on a tangent. Oklahoma, back during those days, you couldn't get to California if you were from Oklahoma. They would stop you at the the bridge. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
don't
Was
know
that
that
were they one of
history,
the ones that were stopped?
I don't know. I think their plan was to come here and to farm land.
Because during like the gold rush and stuff, everybody was heading over to California. Well, if you're from Oklahoma, you couldn't go because you were known as the poorest of the poor.
Wow.
And that's why Okietown is called Okietown today. It's because that's where a lot of people from Oklahoma ended up settling.
Very interesting.
Little,
Plus
yeah, a
that
little bit
Fun
of
fact.
yeah, a little useless history today about Okietown.
That's cool. I have, water rights is a big thing these days. And recently I was at the Bureau of Reclamation in Phoenix area, and I found a document signed by President Theodore Roosevelt to my grandfather. He helped start. He's a founding board member for Yuma County water users here. And so anyway, there's a document that says that he has water rights to his children, and his children's children forevermore on the Colorado River. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yuma County.
That'd be a cool family to be born into.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm set.
Well, and I think I know more powers. I think there's quite a few of you here,
Oh, yeah.
right?
My brother, Tyler's dad, runs the audio and visual down at the city hall for the city of Yuma.
Oh, that's where I met him. Yep,
cool.
I met him. I did an interview with the mayor years and years ago, and he was setting everything up. There you go.
He's the man. Yeah, my other brother, Jackie, he worked for the county for many years before he retired. So, yeah, been around for a while.
So what was it like growing up for you here in Yuma?
Well, my family was all born and raised down on the farm. My dad was in an accident when my mother was 6 months pregnant with me. So we moved to the city so that he could have better care. And mother cared for him and cared for me, a newborn, and worked at the same time to provide for the family. So for me growing up, it was sports every day.
So why
all day long.
sports?
I was, one of those hyperactive kids.
Ah, you got a lot of energy
go
in
to
you.
school all day. Yeah, in fact, speaking of energy,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we got
yay.
gifts.
Look at
y'all a
this.
gift straight from Mexico.
Yeah, I like that.
Just brought them back yesterday.
That's cool. Thank you so much.
Mexican Coke. They tell me it's,
Honey, I'm bringing
best ever.
home
Well,
your
because it
favorite
has
thing.
sugar. That's why.
So
Versus the
speaking
high.
of energy, they don't let me drink that in Mexico. All my friends, they stay
No,
away.
no, yeah. Thank you so much.
He
man.
turns crazy. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for what you do on the show. It's been really fun to watch your program here and see you guys interviewing people.
Yeah.
I saw one of my old friends, Chance Farrar, wrestling buddy back in the
He was
day.
fun.
He was on here. I saw Ada Arviso, my buddy Ed
Yep.
and Ada. She won a package from
Oh
one of the
yeah, she won
giveaways.
from the What's Up Yuma thing.
Very
Yep.
cool thing. There's so many amazing things going on in Yuma
Yeah.
and awesome people. And so it's really cool to see you guys pushing that out there, getting them interviewed, and letting the community know about all the awesome
That's
things
right.
happening.
Well, and I
behind
think there is a lot of awesome people here in Yuma, right? And then that was the vision for the show, is to showcase that and give people a voice and be able to tell that story.
that. Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you, man.
And,
Yeah.
and Ronnie's Remedy too in the paper, right?
Thank
You know,
you.
she's a
Giving
great
advice.
shout out to her. She's a great co-host. She's
awesome.
I do my best.
No, she does a great job.
It's a fun show. So speaking of awesome, you were a 3-sport varsity letterman
Oh yeah.
at Yuma High?
Yuma High School, yeah. Criminal.
So what sports? Let everybody know.
So football, rodeo, and wrestling.
Rodeo.
I didn't even know rodeo was like
Me
considered
neither.
a sport, but
Yeah,
until reading your bio and
Wow.
Yeah, high school. There's junior rodeo. There's high school rodeo. I actually acquired a scholarship, full ride to
cool.
college for rodeo. I didn't want to go. I wanted to go rodeo and party and that kind of thing back in those days. But
Just want to be the superstar.
but we went to college and made it to the national finals. A cousin of mine, Tiffany Power, she rodeoed and was a champion
Wow.
at the intercollegiate.
Okay.
level at
So were
barrel
you
racing.
riding like bulls?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my
That's what I did.
goodness. Because I know there's like horses and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do in rodeo.
Yeah,
So-
no,
it's like hold on, put the camera on me,
8
Cecilia.
seconds.
Like that thing when you lasso
Oh, yeah.
it, you
team
do that?
roping.
Team
Okay,
roping, there
wow.
we go.
Yeah, we did a lot of different things in college for fun, but to make it to the nationals, you have to qualify first or second in your region. And so I was actually riding bareback and bulls at the same time. I tore some cartilage in my rib because of the bareback ride. I'm like, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I want to make the finals. Yeah. So I got to go there, and then between my freshman and sophomore year, I won my pro card, and so as soon as I graduated, I was off on the road.
Wow.
I got to compete here at the Yuma Silver Sport Rodeo a couple of times, placed
Very
one
cool.
year.
Well, yeah, because
Nice.
rodeo, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
The rodeo parade, the Silver Sport Rodeo, that's all a real big deal. Big tradition here in Yuma. So you took part in all of that.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah.
All of it.
So growing up here, so the sports, and you said you got a scholarship in rodeo.
Yes, sir.
So where was that to again?
Central Arizona College, just outside of Casa Grande, 2-year college.
Okay, and they have like teams that compete?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
and the
each of
collegiate
schools
level?
have a team, yeah. So
Oh,
they,
okay.
they gather about every 2 to 3 weeks. They have a competition. They get all the different UNLV, University of New Mexico. They have different large universities in the region that compete with the junior colleges as well. And again, then you qualify for the national finals. That's the goal for the teams.
So what did you study in school? What was your major?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? That's great.
He really
We're on a
was
college
partying
campus. That's a
lot.
great answer for
I was
everybody.
business administration
Oh,
was what I
okay.
got my
It's
degree
like, I
in.
don't remember. Psych.
So,
Those are blurry days.
Yeah,
I didn't know the Lord back
well,
then.
hey, I've seen those cowboys and rodeo people party. So I bet. I bet.
They are crazy partiers. I mean, what you guys do is crazy. So I can imagine
crazy,
what
yeah.
you do partying is
Yeah.
crazy.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. He's a minister now. He doesn't want to talk about it. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's like, we don't discuss those things.
yeah.
I don't talk about them a lot, but it's part of my story, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, to
Yep.
come from the lifestyle I had, we were talking about when we were younger, right? And running from my mom and stealing her keys and being out all night and going to college and partying and living that lifestyle, and then for God to enter into my life. But I went to school with another friend, Philip Davis. He was from here. We both got a full ride at the college, and it was because of that I actually went and didn't go straight into rodeo. If it wasn't for him, I would have probably been gone. So one of my other roommates, my sophomore year, he grew up in the church, and after I graduated and was out on the road professionally, he came over and he told me how God loves me so much that Jesus died on the cross for me that I could be forgiven. And when I put my faith in Christ and repented, and that changed everything. So that previous lifestyle is part of the story of God's
changed the
redemption.
trajectory. Did I say that right? Trajectory.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the way I say it.
Yeah.
Trajectory.
I have to say it very slowly. No, so it changed everything at that point
Yeah.
because what the business though? Why business? Like, did you want to?
administration,
Yeah, did you want to go into business or?
Well, I started a T-shirt company called Planet Rodeo Sports where I was
Okay.
in college. So I was
Okay.
trying to
Nice.
make a living, do that kind of thing. But again, the education was more of a dream of my parents for me than mine. So it was kind of to honor my father who passed away when I was 12 and my mom. At the same time, it created a really good bridge to go from the high school amateur
Yeah.
to into professional. College is a way to do that. Very similar in the NFL and NBA. You go to college, you compete at a high level there, you get your name noticed, and then then you go into the professional era.
Yeah, and I just want to bring up you mentioned your father. Off air, you were talking about my father. You knew my dad from church years and years ago. And once you said the name of church, I was like, yeah, that's where he used to go. And I guess you gave him a car when my parents were in need.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like, sure.
Yeah, I know.
That's cool.
He was going to be humble today. He was like, no, but that's a really cool
Yeah, that's
thing.
a very big deal. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. He doesn't want to say any more about that. And okay, so at
So
that
you went
point,
professional?
yes, I did
Wow.
that for about 6 years, and then fractured a vertebra in my neck and tore a nerve in my shoulder in Austin, Texas, and from there it was like, okay, well, what's next? Like I was
Yeah.
in the top 50 in the world. I wanted to be a world champ, and
Wow.
all of a sudden my career's ended. Now what do I
Yes.
do? So that's a big.
I can
change of
imagine
life.
that happens for a lot of professional athletes.
It
I mean,
does.
injuries can happen like that.
Absolutely, college and professional.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we grew up in sports, and our dream was always to be professional.
Exactly.
And then an injury happens, and if you don't have a different mindset, if you don't have something planned out to fall back on, then it's a big
Yeah.
struggle, emotionally.
so did you
psychologically.
have that something to
No,
fall back? You
absolutely
didn't. So
not.
you had the emotional struggle.
Absolutely.
So you
For how
went.
long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't too long, and I think that's rooted in my faith, right? Like I'm driving back, my whole arm is paralyzed. I'm in my Cadillac coming back from Texas, trying to figure out, okay, what's next? Just crying out to the Lord, and all of a sudden it was like He just appeared and said, "Man, I've been with you this whole way. I'm with you now, and I'll be with you wherever you go." And so that gave me a
So you felt
peace.
comforted.
Absolutely,
That's
a peace
beautiful.
that passes all understanding. So I had no clue what was next.
Yeah.
But man, I knew I was in good hands.
Exactly.
So
And
you're
that's called faith.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So your faith helped you get through this tough injury, and you
Yeah.
had no idea, literally no idea what you were
We're
going
like,
to
let's
do.
just drive.
The t-shirt,
Yeah.
the t-shirt company. You're like, I'm not going to bring it back. That's not going to be
Yeah,
plan
was that
B.
over?
Yeah,
That-
it was long
that
gone.
like
Once I got
okay.
on the road full time,
Yeah.
you're just traveling all the
Okay.
time. I had my shirts in different, businesses and retail stores, and
Oh,
I
cool.
couldn't keep up with that.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I
we
bet.
we were flying, driving, bumming rides, sleeping on floors, everything you can to get from one rodeo to the next.
Well, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to find out how that trajectory, I said it quicker this time, how that landed you as you're a minister today, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're, all right. We're going to talk more about that on the other side of the break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Yuma Electric Service, LLC, serving the Yuma area for more than 25 years. Specializing in residential and commercial wiring, services also include EV charging unit installs and solar-ready service panel upgrades. Information and consultation appointments at yumaelectricservicellc.com.
Good morning. This is Cecilia Holland-Braithwaite from the KWC Newsroom. We're having a partly sunny day in Yuma with a high expected of 102 degrees. Winds out of the east at 5 miles per hour becoming southwest in the afternoon. The low this evening is 80 degrees with a 40% chance of showers. Last week, Yuma School District 1 recognized 37 students for earning perfect scores on Arizona's Academic Standards Assessment Test in mathematics and English language arts. Go to kwc.org for more.
For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer, Education Solutions Reporter. The Gadsden Elementary School District has launched a new transportation management system. Known as Crosswalk by Unite GPS, the system is designed to improve safety, accountability, and efficiency across all bus routes. Crosswalk uses student ID cards to record when and where students board and exit buses, creating a digital log of every ride. By enabling real-time monitoring, the district hopes to provide peace of mind for families. With the new system, schools can quickly verify ridership, identify potential issues, and respond immediately in the event of an emergency. Gadsden also reports that Crosswalk will help improve route efficiency, reduce delays, and ensure that every child's accounted for, from the moment they leave home until they arrive safely to school and back home again. Students will be required to scan their school ID every day when boarding and exiting buses. To support the effort, Gadsden is asking its families to ensure their children carry their IDs consistently. For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here talking to David Power from Church Mexico. And when we left off, you had a little bit of a tragedy. You went pro, but it didn't last too long because you got injured. And you said your faith helped you go through that. And I got your bio. I'm looking through it. So somehow you ended up volunteering at the juvenile detention center. Is that it?
Yes. Yeah.
So tell us how that transition happened, if that's even part of it.
It is absolutely a big part of it. So
Okay.
I came back to Yuma again, not knowing what I was going to do, where I was going to go. Met your dad, started getting plugged into a local church for the first time. I'd never been a part of that, even though I had been a Christian now for several years. And while I was there, a lady approached me and said, "Hey, can you come and tell your story at the juvenile detention center?" So I went in, and it went well. And so I was asked to come back. I was resistant. I started going in, and then it was every 2 weeks, and it was every week. And I did that for about 3 years on my own, encouraging the kids in there. And then I realized that there was so much need. This job was bigger than myself. So I invited some friends, Sherry McDowell and Debbie and others came in. So we had a whole team of like 8 different people from 3 different churches coming in on a weekly basis, encouraging those kids.
So what was it like going in there, encouraging them? Could you anything that stood out?
Oh yeah, I could relate to what, how they got in there. I mean, I should have been in there and locked up several times. So I got in trouble once, that was it. By God's grace, I didn't continue to do that. So I could really relate to their home environments. I could relate to the challenges, to the temptations, to the struggles. So it was really fun to go in and help them to say, hey, you don't have to continue to do this. There's a way out, and there's a God in heaven who loves you, wants to help you to do that.
Were they pretty receptive?
Very receptive.
Okay, good.
I mean, they're not, a lot of them are environments where they don't have a whole lot of love and attention, sincerely.
Totally.
And so we could go in there and love on them and hug them and care for them and encourage them and tell them that there's a future and a hope for their lives, when other people in their lives a lot of times have never told them that. And they believed the message. So it was wonderful.
Awesome.
Any stories that kind of particularly stand out Anybody that any individuals or
There
anything?
were so many amazing stories. The kids, their hearts would just be broken and open, and they would receive that, you know what I mean, and recognize that there's forgiveness in Christ, and so their whole attitudes and demeanors changed. But I think probably the neatest one that I can remember is I was in Cracker Barrel years later, right? Probably 6-7 years after that, having breakfast with somebody, and this young waiter came up and he said, "Hey, you're Pastor Dave." And I'm like, "Yeah, who are you?" Right? And he told me his name, and he gives me this big old bear hug,
Oh, man.
and he sheds tears, and he says, so I get up, and he tells me his name, and his name was Jonathan too, and he told me a story about because of whatever happened in the detention center. When he got out, he got his life changed around. He got married at a young age, had a family, started working, and now his life is so much better. He has a couple of little children, and then he said it was all because of the message that we shared with him.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Powerful stuff.
And that's why you do it, right there.
That's a big reason why I do it. Absolutely. It's for life change. I mean,
Exactly.
that's, this world can be a hard and a dark place. And so, there's somebody who calls himself the light in the world, and be able to bring that message to people, help them to see that, and then to demonstrate the love of Christ towards people in a very real way.
Yeah.
It touches people's hearts, renews their minds, and changes their lives.
So what were you doing for work at that time?
So when I came back, I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do. I ended up going to work for a company called Manpower Incorporated. It was a staffing company.
I'm familiar with
Within the
them.
first year, I became a branch supervisor, then a manager. We opened up a few places. And then about 5 years into doing that, the church I was going to, Calvary Temple of Christ, the pastor there, Pastor Tyrone, came and said, "Hey, can you come and help lead the small group ministry on staff?" And so that's where I got into the ministry full time. And we were there 5 years. I became the associate pastor.
Is it
And-
because what you did at like the juvenile, like where you
part
had a
of that.
track record of being able to help and
Yeah, that was a
minister
big
to
part
people?
of it. And then I was also leading small groups. And so then they asked me to lead the small group ministry. And
Gotcha,
that continued
okay.
to grow. And so it just
Yeah.
kind of went one thing to another. And that's when we started going into Mexico and taking clothes and food and toys for the kids and that kind of thing. And then we started building homes for some people out of the local church. We started a ministry called...
Is that the Homes for Hope?
Yes, Homes for Hope. Yeah,
Awesome.
my buddy Kurt Van Ekeren leads that now. He was helped me and get that thing started. And so we were building homes, and me being a pastor, they would say, "Hey, can you teach us the Bible?" Right? So we started going, again, every couple weeks, and then every week. We started baptizing people down there. We started building more homes. And so that's what led us to plant the church in Mexico.
So what was that like, the Hope for Homes? You would get like a construction crew together, like
Yeah.
somebody that knows a little bit. I went there once and did something with one of the ministries, and I was an electrician, so I went there as an electrician, and I roped up the place. And this wasn't a home; it was for it was like a school activity thing after school. Like they would come over here, but it was crazy when I went in because it was a dirt floor, right? And they were going to put computers in here. And when they put the rug down, it was just a rug.
Oh, yeah.
They just threw a rug over
man.
dirt, and then I'm just making stuff work, and I'm like, oh, that's the power pole, like
Wow.
that we have to come off of and put a
Definitely different.
panel in. Yeah, it was like, this is shocking, but
Yeah.
So it's another world. It's a third world. You guys that
Yeah.
cross, your listeners that have crossed the border, as soon as you cross, you realize it's a third world country. It's just really hard. I actually, the church we planted, I was preaching outside for 5 years. We didn't have facilities. And then when we did have a children's room, it was, old used plywood, and we had a dirt floor with carpet on it. And a lot of the homes of the families that we worked in, dirt floors, pallets, cardboard, that's the area that we still work in today. Very impoverished areas throughout the whole southern border area of United States, which is the northern border for Mexico. Before and after school program is one of the things that we do there. So the church here, we were building homes, we were doing all this stuff, we were baptizing people, and we realized that there were all these people coming every week, and they didn't have a church, didn't have a pastor.
Okay.
So it was either that or they just got tired of me here. One of the two. They sent me to
We'll
the
go with the
desert.
first one.
Yeah, thank you. That's kinder. So they sent me to the desert of Mexico, right? It's 115 degrees out,
my
and
goodness.
we just went from house to house every day. And then we had a little, shade structure outside where we'd stand up and preach and that kind of thing. But we went down not with the traditional American vision of church. What we did is we got back to the scripture. You're talking about how you're digging in and discovering, right, what it really says, what it really means. And so when we went down there, I said, okay, what did Jesus do and how did he do it? Man, when he saw somebody that was hungry, he fed them.
Yeah.
And he told his disciples to do the same. When they were naked, he said, clothe them. When they were sick, he healed them. And so that's what we did from the very beginning and continue to do today. We meet people's needs. We find out what their needs are. We come alongside of them and try to help change their lives with the love of Christ.
So that's when the church started? That's when the actual ministry?
Yeah, so I was sent to plant the church from scratch. And as we did that, one of my mentors, Pastor Ray Williams, he's passed, he's with the Lord. I said, what do I do? And he said, create a 501c3 nonprofit in the U.S. to support the work that you do in Mexico.
Gotcha.
So that's where Church Mexico came
So
from.
go into Church Mexico, what that's all about. When you were recommended to me, it was talking about the work you've done preventing from sex trafficking. So a little bit different, but go ahead and go ahead.
Yeah, so we planted the church. Church Mexico is a U.S. Yuma-based nonprofit organization to support all the different things that we're doing in Mexico. And what I mean by church and by the name Church Mexico isn't, again, the traditional church. It is going in there and being the light in the darkness, doing the things that Jesus did, meeting people where they're at, loving on them, caring for them, serving them. So we planted the church, and then we started what happened was a lot of the people that I met in poverty were struggling with all kinds of stuff, right?
Yes.
Like addictions, drugs and alcohol, physical abuse, a lot of children sexually abused.
Yeah.
They couldn't read, they couldn't write, they couldn't communicate, they couldn't solve problems. Their relationships were shattered and broken. And I began to cry out and say, Lord, what do I do with this? This is so foreign to me. I don't know what to do. And he showed me that one of the causes of that was poverty. So in these very impoverished areas, you see all these symptoms of trauma and suffering and struggle. And so the solution to poverty, he also showed me, was an education.
Okay.
Not just the official scholastic education, but a relationship, community type education where you're helping people to be healthy. And so then we began our before and after school program called King's Kids. Now we continue that, but now we sponsor kids to keep them in school. And so we have a program where we invite people. In fact, we have 54 kids that still need sponsors and to keep them in school, because what happens when you get to the junior high school age, you begin to have to pay money to go to school down there.
Oh my
It's not the
goodness.
United States of America.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and when when the parents only have a third, fourth grade education and they're working in the fields, or they're laying bricks or something, they only make $10-12 a day. They can't afford for their kids to go to school. So when the kids become of age to go to work at 12, 13 years old, what do? You've seen them. They pull them out of school. They put them on the streets to wash their windows, to sell candy, to go in the brickyard, and they're miserable. And so the cycle of poverty continues over and over, generation to generation. What we've seen is we get them an education, and it breaks that cycle. We had a kid just this last year graduate. He's a lawyer in Mexico.
Wow.
He's
that's
going to
awesome,
be
man.
prosperous. He's breaking the cycle of poverty. You know, his dad said it. We do these tamales with Church Mexico events. We do them annually every 6 months. We had one here. We had one in Phoenix. And his dad came and shared, and he said, I used to be the father of a son, a father, a welder, and had a son. He said, now I am the father of a lawyer.
Wow,
So that's the kind of change. Alexia is another one. When we were building the homes, I met Alexia. She was 4. She had no shoes, clothes. There were 6 little kids running around. A mom, dad was in prison on an island in Mexico somewhere.
Wow.
Well, I just got back from a trip. I took her and 3 other students. One of the sponsors sent us to the beach for these kids because they've never been out of the desert, right? And she's now starting her 2nd year to become a psychologist down in Mexico.
Good for her.
Changing her life, changing her future.
Wow. So if people want to support, they support the Church Mexico part of it, which is the 501c3, which gives you the funding to do what you're doing in Mexico.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know we have a little bit of time, so can I just share it?
We got like 2 minutes, but
Gotcha.
yeah, go ahead.
We're on the border, right? Immigration, illegal immigration is a big topic, right? There's human smuggling, which are people that are trying to get here to change their life, and then there's human trafficking. And we are in a corridor.
Oh, human
that has
trafficking,
a
okay.
high level of human trafficking. Well, where do they come from? They come from the areas that we're working in. The cartels and the bad people, they devour these people that are in poverty. Easy money, right? Prostitution, drugs, sneaking them across, impregnating young girls at 13, 14. We have a pregnancy center that helps to change that. And then they bring the babies across and sell them. There is... Government reported 2021, 147,000 unoccupied migrant children entered the U.S.
Wow.
Over here. Yeah. And so anyway, by keeping them in school, by helping them be in a healthy community with their families, they're growing, they're changing their lives, they're breaking the
That's the preventative part of it. So and preventative, and you're also setting up a culture for success.
You're exactly right. That's what we're doing, literally, is changing the culture in these small pockets. And as that continues to grow, we're working with 5 different areas along the whole border region, about 50-mile radius. And now we've just started with another 12 churches that in a year or 2 years we'll begin working with. And we have this program called Rescuing Girls Before They Need Rescue.
There you go. Okay, that's the one I was.
And so we're helping them to get in school. We're meeting with them on a monthly basis. We just had an annual event. We had 33 girls for 2 days, bought them dresses, wined them and dined them. We partner with Pillars of Hope out of California that deals with human trafficking. They're trying to get people off the streets, and they're not being very successful. So they came alongside to help us do the preventative work of that.
Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it was Estrella from, what's the organization she was from?
Oh my gosh. Healing Journey.
The Healing Journey. She was talking about, she volunteered with some programs and would go over at Tijuana, where they would have these orphanages, and she would look at these moms that were coming back and forth, picking up the kids at night or after work or in the morning, and she would look at them in some type of way like, ugh,
judging,
because they were like sex workers.
Yes.
But then later on, she found out, well, they were being trafficked.
Yeah.
It wasn't their fault.
They were like 13.
Yeah, they were young, and she wished she could go back and take that back and not have those looks because it wasn't their fault. Yeah, and then help them. So it's definitely, it happens. I don't like to fearmonger on here. I know it happens, and you know, but it's something that I'm glad somebody's doing something about it.
Good work.
It's amazing. Their trajectory of their lives before coming alongside them, helping them understand what a healthy family looks like, a healthy marriage looks like without an education, their trajectory is not good. There's a lot of them that are impregnated, prostituted, and then coerced into selling their bodies. And so we're preventing that. We're rescuing them before they ever need it.
So if somebody wants to support, how do they support?
Log on to our website, churchmexico.org, and you can see everything there, everything that we do.
Everything you do, they can go on there and find out and see some of the success stories, I'm pretty sure, huh?
Absolutely. If they want to sponsor a kid, if they want to help these girls with the monthly events, right? Help them to learn how to be in a healthy family. And we're helping the parents at the same time, too, through the local churches. So it's a community-based effort.
So thank you so much for coming on. I want to end by saying you were a gentleman when you came in first and mentioned, you're like, I know this is a secular show. I don't want to make it too much about this, but this is my heart. And you were very kind about that. So I really appreciate that. And that told me a lot about your character, because I would have anybody on that's doing something good. I don't care if you're Muslim, Hindu, whatever religion you would call it. Like it doesn't matter to me. I think what matters is the good works, what you're doing. If somebody's doing something good, that needs to be highlighted to me, whatever name or banner that falls under.
Christ is the greatest example for us to do just that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We'll be back after this. We're going to take a short break with Marcia Hernandez from Brush It Studios right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
This is folk singer Michael Jonathan. Join us on this wonderful radio station as we celebrate the music of America's front porch. With husband and wife Americana duo, the Weary Ramblers, plus Tulsa troubadour John Moreland, and an amazing Wood Songs kid. All of this and more on this week's broadcast of the Wood Songs Old Time Radio Hour.
This evening at 7 p.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Sunrise Cleaning, serving the Yuma area's residential and commercial cleaning needs. Sunrise exclusively uses eco-friendly cleaning products and provides specialty services such as solar panel cleaning and pressure washing. More information and appointment booking at sunrisecleaningaz.com.
Who influenced who first? Did Latin artists influence K-pop artists first? Or did K-pop artists influence Latin America? Hey, all I know is K-pop is beloved south of the border. Drop in to hear some hand-picked Latin K-pop this week on the K-pop for Border show. I'll be playing Super Junior, Shiny, Card, Cat's Eye. Join me, Kathy, on the K-pop for Border on Kofa Radio web and the KAWC Border app on Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what is being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate like I've discovered I can do and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here joined now by Marcia. Did Marcia, like I had to do Marcia. So I asked off air, am I saying it right?
And then you still asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
It's a unique name, like
Yes.
in that sense, because like you read it, most people are like Marcia.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it.
So you are the owner of Brush It Studios.
I'm one of the owners, yes.
One of the
Okay.
owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Brush It Art Studio?
Yes, Brush
Brush
It
It Art Studios. Yeah. Okay. And you own it with your husband? Is
Yeah,
that-
my husband and my cousin Adriana.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool. So three of you.
Yes, we started, all three of us.
Awesome.
So so you're not originally from Yuma, but you did come here. When did you come here, and where did you come here from?
So I was born in San Luis, Rio Colorado, Sonora, right across the border.
There you go, Rio Colorado.
Yeah, that was
I hear that on commercials and stuff on the radio, like Rio Colorado.
Mouthful.
Yeah, there you go.
So we migrated when I was 7, so 92, long time ago.
Wow. So you were there for 7 years.
Yes.
And then you came to Yuma?
Yes, I came.
Okay.
Well, I came to San Luis. I lived in San Luis in South County. I lived in Gadsden and then Yuma.
Oh.
So I've been here ever since. Now I live in San Luis.
So you're back in San Luis now.
I'm back
Yeah.
in San Luis.
So
My
there's
parents are here.
multiple San Luises.
Yes,
right?
San Luis,
What do you mean?
Arizona. San
There's,
Luis,
there's across
Mexico.
the border?
Oh yeah, you did
Yeah.
not know that?
No, there is. So everyone that's
Yeah.
listening is like,
Yes.
no, she's not like having to cross the border every day.
Yeah, no,
I'm
yeah.
not.
She's here.
Yeah, I think most
Thankfully.
people. Yeah, there's two. Or There's also a St. Louis.
Oh.
That's right.
That's the same thing.
What the?
Anyway, that's just in English, but anyway, that's often. So what brought your family to Yuma?
So my dad, of course, was always looking for us to have a better life, and he was a farm worker. And we migrated when I was young, and his goal was always to give us a better opportunity for anything that we did. So, so my grandparents were U.S. citizens. So my dad was a U.S. citizen. So he's like, okay, let's go.
Oh, okay.
So we moved here, and I basically grew up here.
Yeah. So did you know English when you moved here?
no,
You had to
no,
learn,
absolutely
like,
not.
Fresh.
Absolutely fresh. So I watched heard your show with Bernice from Strong Beginnings.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it resonated with me because she mentioned how she would translate letters for her parents. So
Yeah.
I think anyone that's a migrant or comes from a migrant family knows that feeling.
Yeah.
So that was us.
So you're learning English in school, like
Yeah.
actively.
And then trying to still read stuff at home and help your parents.
Yes,
Wow.
we end up being like not a parent to your parent, but
Exactly.
helping
Yeah.
them
Like an educator.
navigate.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you don't know all the words. at
Exactly. Like that's
9,
what she
10.
said. She's like, I don't know these bank words at,
Exactly.
being in 3rd grade.
Yes, that's what happens. That's our life.
So what school did you go to when you first got here?
When I got here, I went to Gadsden Elementary School. I went to Rio Colorado. I went to San Luis Middle School.
Wow.
Then I moved here to Yuma. So I went to Crane for my last year. And then I went to Cibola. So
me too.
Raiders.
So which
Two
one?
Cibolas here.
Yes.
So you said Gadsden Elementary, and is there a middle school too, Gadsden?
Yeah, so there's like a bunch of schools within
Okay.
the Gadsden School
And
District.
did you go to the middle school one?
Yeah, San Luis Middle School.
Oh, okay. So I know I was just the reason why I bring up the Gadsden, I just always remember. I don't know if it's what school it was, but they always had the best band
Yes,
program.
They still do.
That's
I think.
Gadsden, right?
That's Gadsden.
And they do
yeah.
every parade.
Every parade, it's like you're at the parade and you're like, oh, this is cool, and then Gadsden comes, you're like,
They're
okay,
like, dang, man.
You know, and I say that. Did your husband work there at
He
one
still
point?
does.
He still does.
In Gadsden?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's the co-director for the drum line.
Oh,
Okay.
So yeah,
So
he does the drum line.
He's part of the reason why
musician.
they sound so good. Shout out
Yes,
to
yes.
Mario.
Oh, good job.
Yes, they've been across the world. So.
Yeah,
Yes,
'cause
they've
they-
gone everywhere.
They travel, and it's so interesting. Like Gadsden, you'll blink and you'll miss it, because it's not that big of a place. But to have such a great quality of sound coming out of it,
Yep.
I just want to highlight them and
Yeah.
the kids and the legacy that's been there.
Yeah, and my son was part of it too.
Your son was part of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
What did he do? The drums?
he played the bass. So yeah.
Yeah, but what years?
It was 5 years ago. Well, he just graduated high school.
Oh,
So
Okay.
he did
Congrats.
like from 6th to 8th
Eighth,
grade.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did that. He's also a drummer. So
Wow.
So okay,
I love
so
the drums.
as a kid. So Brush It Art Studio, were you artistic as a kid?
sort of. So I was always into anything creative. So when I was
So
young,
anything creative. So yeah, art could be a plethora
Yeah.
of things, right? So creative. So go ahead.
So I think a lot of people who are creative end up doing that. They end up like, dipping their toes in
In
all these
everything.
different things. So when I was young, I danced. I did the folkloric dancing. I did that. I play the guitar. I don't know how to play the guitar anymore.
Me neither.
No, like it was there and then it was gone. And I did ceramics in high school.
Okay.
And I did a few semesters here at AWC too.
Oh, cool.
Oh, right on.
I thought I wanted to do that, but it's not something
Like
I want to do.
for a living.
So what do you mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
explain that a little bit. Like thought you wanted to do what?
Something with my hands,
Okay.
with getting dirty and creating. So, I did a lot of like masks and stuff like that, but I wasn't that good,
So when it got to ceramics,
She's
it
like,
was
"I'm
like
being
you hit a roadblock in the
Yeah,
ceramics.
after I was like, no, I'm not going to buy a kiln to have in my backyard.
Yeah.
Like it
Oh,
doesn't
yes.
seem
There's
like
a lot more work than people probably think.
Yes.
Yeah. And
And-
equipment.
It takes a lot of electricity. I took ceramics my senior year, so yeah, I know what that's
I
like.
never took it, and I always wanted
It's
to.
so fun. Or
I
at
took
least if you like,
photography. Yeah.
getting messy and,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I do.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite then? If that's your least favorite or the one that gave you a roadblock, there you go. Thank you. What was the one that you liked to do as a kid? What were you naturally drawn to?
I love dancing.
Dancing. So
I love
dancing was the big
yes.
one.
And
Okay.
I hope I
Talon,
can do it again.
Play some music real
No,
quick.
no.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to
So
do that.
what type of dancing? Like
Any
all?
type of dancing.
Did you
like-
tap?
No, I did
Okay.
folkloric, like Mexican folkloric. I did that, and then I stopped. Like right now, I wish I could do it, but your knees start hurting.
Oh, you're like, I'm
older
too
now?
old to dance.
Yeah.
I
No
was
way.
invited to a flamenco dance group. I might start this month. I will see.
Uh-huh.
Just try it out.
okay.
See how it
How
goes.
the knee goes. Right?
How the knee goes.
Yeah, I was really good with like the Roger Rabbit and the Cabbage Patch. You remember any of those
Oh,
ones?
yes, I do.
Yeah, that's old
Like
school.
in my head, I think I could still do it, right? But I
Ah,
don't know.
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
We should record ourselves
I
and be
don't-
like, that's what
I
I
don't
look
know.
like.
I have yes.
In my head, I'm an excellent
great
dancer.
dancer.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Rico Suave over here.
All Michael Jackson's moves, I got them right here.
That's
back in-
hilarious. I was showing my kids Michael Jackson videos yesterday.
Oh, really?
They're so young. They don't know who that
I
is.
do that.
Yeah,
I
they
do
were
that
like,
with my
"Whoa."
kids.
Yeah.
That's like an educational point in every
Correct.
kid's life. You need to
You need to
recognize.
watch Thriller,
Yes.
everybody. Go watch
Yes.
Thriller.
So
Yes.
dancing, but you didn't take that into a career.
Nothing.
What?
Nothing creative.
Nothing creative. So what became the career path?
So I just started. My parents always, instilled, you got to make a living. You got to. So you kind of go into like, oh, let's make a living, and. I think if you are a creative, like it messes with your head, and
Absolutely.
I think that's what happened to me because I was good at everything that I did because I'm a hard worker, but I wasn't happy. There was always like
So what'd you get
something
into?
happy.
Yeah,
Like
what
the
was your-
Oh, I
job?
did property management at one point.
Yeah, that sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Yeah,
Well, you went from
that's
like
boring.
dancing to property. It's like,
Yeah.
this is kind of boring.
Yeah.
But it's a living.
It's
and
a
you were
living.
paying
Yeah.
your bills. Yeah.
I worked for insurance. I did auto claims for several years.
Oh.
I worked at a nonprofit. I worked at 2 nonprofits, and then I quit in 2022. And I was like, I'm done.
You're done.
You're like, I'm being stifled.
Yeah.
I have to break
Can
out.
you give a shout out to the nonprofits or no? You're allowed to talk about
I
it?
loved working with. I worked with PEP and I worked with WACOG. WACOG was my
Oh,
favorite.
cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
So I worked at the main admin office.
So you decided that the corporate life was not for you anymore.
Yes.
And
it was so stressful.
Oh, and you weren't feeling like you were free.
Yeah, and I think it's just for me, you know, and
Yes.
it's not
Oh, yeah, for
stressful for
sure.
everyone.
It's not for exactly.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to my accountant, Jeff.
Yeah. Some people
right?
love numbers.
Like,
They're like,
that-
this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, that nerd over there liking numbers and math. You know what I mean? But hey, no, he's
Yeah.
great. I love Jeff. I was
I know.
talking to, but you give him math and you put it in front of his face.
Yeah.
And like, here's numbers and
Yeah.
bank account
He figures
statements,
it
and he's
out.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
it's a party. Then you know.
But to
then,
someone like me, I'm like, this is not anything I want to spend my time on.
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
That's why we have accountants. Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly,
that.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So you in 2022, you said
Yeah.
you were like you check it. I'm not going to do it anymore. What did you do at that point?
Nothing.
Nothing. I like that. That's cool. That's a.
So your
great-
husband's like, what
you
are
know,
we doing right
so-
now?
so-
Yeah, I had a moment. I had like a moment.
She had a little breakdown.
I
guys.
did.
But your husband's still working, right?
He
at
was
this
still
point?
working.
You just said like it's 2022. I'm done with this. I'm
Yeah.
out. Good luck, Mario. I appreciate it.
By the way, I quit my job today. He's
I
like,
just
what?
quit.
It was kind of like that, actually. It was kind of like that. And it was the first time I was ever without a job. I started working when I was 16.
Oh wow, yeah.
Jack in the Box was my first
Yeah,
job.
McDonald's was mine. So
Oh,
yeah.
really?
It's so hard, but it teaches you so much.
Mine was
right?
Target.
Yeah. You deal with people.
I did not
Learn
like
how
it
to
then.
deal with people.
Yeah, I didn't like
You
it.
know what? We're going to take a quick break. We're going to find
Yeah.
out how this nothing turned into something, right? And how long this nothingness period lasted.
Hopefully not
and
long,
Mario
yeah.
was over there like sweating it, trying to pay the bills.
Trying to
But,
drum.
all right, with that, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
The Yuma County Library District provides activities and resources at its branches for people of all ages. Events include story time, citizenship classes, bilingual programs, crafts, author talks, and more. For more information about the activities and calendar of events, plus other in-person and online resources, visit yumalibrary.org.
Hi, it's Maria Hinojosa from Latino USA. You have so much information at your fingertips. Don't you sometimes feel overwhelmed by it all? Here at Latino USA, we know that your time is valuable, which is why our team prides itself on producing original stories that you won't hear anywhere else. Check us out and share us with your friends and family. Thanks for listening.
Latino USA airs on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
The inaugural 9/11 Heroes Run will take place at 6 a.m. on September 13th at the Pacific Avenue Athletic Complex. The fun run and race in support of the Travis Manion Foundation will begin with an opening ceremony in the east parking lot of the PAAC. Participants can register now at 911heroesrun.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here talking to the founder, one of the owners of Brush It Art Studios. And when we left, we talked about her just quitting her job and chucking it and telling Mario, all right, you're going to have to pay all the bills, dude. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. So how long did that last, that period?
Not very long.
Not long. Mario was like, hey, like, babe, if you don't start paying the bills, you're out of here.
I want to know
Like
his
that.
reaction.
Well, he was fine because he knew that I wasn't happy.
Gotcha.
He knew that he's always been very supportive. So he's like, "Oh, we'll figure it out."
Yeah.
You know. And I started caring for plants. It was my plant mom.
At home, you're just like, your job is plants.
Yes, you know, and it was weird because I've never been a stay-at-home mom. It was for the first time ever, so I really enjoyed that.
So you went out and got like the succulents? Like,
I did. I did kill a lot of them.
Yeah, the ones that you can't water too much, and if you do, they're dead. Yeah.
I can say I've never successfully kept a plant alive.
I did for a little bit, but
okay.
Yeah, so you did.
I'm just not good at it.
So you have plants. They're all dead all around it. So Mario's
Not all
looking
of
like.
them.
But you're taking care of your kid.
Yeah,
you're like,
taking
we're good.
care of kids, and
Cooking.
so
Okay,
when.
there you go.
You're
Cooking
what?
too.
I was cooking. You know, I was there.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
was a
I'm
good
just
time.
teasing. Of course.
We get it.
And I've met Mario. We did an event together, as you
Yeah.
know. He's a great guy. So how did this come to be? Was it like during that period, and then you said, I'm going to start an art studio, and then he was like, what? Or go ahead.
So during that time, that year was very actually difficult for us. It kind of changed our lives. I didn't know this was going to happen, obviously. So I quit my job. I think it was in March of 2022.
Okay.
And my husband was a performer. He had a band and he would tour. And he had a horrible accident. They had a terrible accident in November of 2022. And we lost some great people. And that changed
I remember
us.
that. I remember when that happened.
It changed us completely. Like it changed. It makes you look at life like, whoa, like you're gone.
You
right?
know, and just to clarify, I didn't know Mario or at that time, but I've been in the music scene for a long, long time, and I booked bands and worked with like the Crest and different places. And I remember seeing on social media when that accident happened.
Yeah, it changed. I think it makes you question everything, right? So that happened, and we were trying to get past it because there's a lot, that goes on. It changes who you're with, your friends, your financial situation, just everything, right? And it wasn't until the next year in 2023, I was with my cousin. Her name's Adriana Medrano, and it wasn't even my idea.
Oh, okay.
Studio.
So it wasn't all right.
Way to be real about it. You're like, not my idea.
Yeah,
people that know me know that I'm an introvert. Like I had to do public speaking because of my previous jobs, but it wasn't something that I enjoyed. But I happened to go to the class at Yuma Art Center for painting because I had done it before. And my other cousin, his name is George, he's like, you guys should do a paint party. And then my Adriana was at the time owner of Doses VR, which is right there in Main Street where we're at. And it turned into like, well, maybe we should do it here. And then she's like, well, the back part of the building is like a warehouse, like nothing is there. So that was like one day, and like 5 days later, we had the name.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty quick.
Did you come up with it together?
The name, I was the one that came up with it.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, for me, it was like, I'm an overthinker. If I say no, like if I think about it more, and I'm like, all these things have happened in our lives, and why not, right? What else could go wrong, right? That's kind of like the mentality that we had. And at the time, so during that time, I said, I'm not going back to work at an office because I was so unhappy, right? And I was so determined not to go back to the office that I decided I needed to make money, right? So I was delivering groceries for Walmart. So people in South County and San Luis, they probably know my face because I was delivering their groceries. Yeah. And like, I'm not embarrassed to say I loved it. And it gave me that time to like drive and think, what do I want to do with my life? And we started working on the studio. So the back end of the building was not being used. So it was between my husband Mario, Adriana, and we fixed everything at the studio.
So
it was just us.
It was just, like you said, it was just a warehouse, and it's downtown. Was it as bad a shape as a lot of the buildings are downtown?
I don't think so. I mean, there was a lot of painting.
Okay.
There was a lot of painting that we had to do.
You had to do.
Yeah, some fixing here and there, but I don't think it was a bad spot.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Yeah.
Because there are some pretty bad areas downtown but thankfully, so you had this location, you came up with the name, and you said, let's do it.
Let's do it. And I didn't even tell my family until like a month and a half after we were
They don't even know
it.
until this show right now. It's like, surprise, guys, I'm doing this.
I'm home.
You were still at the office.
Yeah.
No,
okay, so you're in there, you're painting. How did that vision? Because it's a beautiful place. Like you guys did a great job. So how did that all come together? Like as a partnership, the three of you?
Yes. Well, I'm not good at decorating. People don't believe me, but I'm not. Like my house is like whatever.
Me neither.
Like
I
it's
don't
not
like decorating.
It's not in me. Yeah. And I paint, but I don't know. I just don't. So it was mostly Mario and my cousin Adriana, and they were like, what do you think about this?
Just do it.
I was like,
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just stop asking me and just do it, please.
I would agree with everything. But I was like, yeah, sure. Like that's
you make the executive decision. Like yes,
point,
yes,
no.
But
okay.
What do you like? I'm like, that's good. That's good. Like I'm not saying I didn't have an involvement, but those were things that didn't bother me.
So
as
you
much.
had to decorate,
We had to decorate. We had to paint. We had to fix a little bit of the flooring. So we were thinking about how are we going to have these people sit here and paint? And Mario was like, I'll build tables. I was like, no, you won't. Like, he's never done anything.
So he's never done this before?
Like, no. So
he's an accomplished musician, and like he went on the road. Like he has a very, very cool career.
He's not a carpenter.
But when it comes to building tables, no.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
I
big
always
deal.
bring this story because I really doubted him. And I was like, no,
okay, well, at
you're
least you're
not.
honest, yeah.
You know? And then he's like, let me build one.
Okay,
And he found like a YouTube tutorial.
I love
and
YouTube.
he did,
Yep.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Cool.
You ate your
I think you're
words,
the
you
first
said
woman to
sorry.
ever apologize. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's
And
not
I keep
true.
saying it. I keep saying it all the time. Like, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he built all the tables.
He built
for
all those
him.
tables.
Yeah, we helped, but it was
Of
him.
course.
You
He
helped
was
put
the
by.
leader.
You're like, yes.
Yes, that's a good color.
Yes,
That
that's where
screw
the nails
goes
go.
there,
Yeah,
yes.
that's where that goes. So you built it, you have it all together. When was your first event, and what was that like for you?
So our first event was January 21st of 2024. It was actually my birthday.
Oh,
yeah. So we
how
had like a little
cool.
trial run with our friends and family.
Okay.
I was like terrified. And these are like people that I know. And I think it's because they're people that you know,
and
right?
You're like, don't judge me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm sure they were supportive.
They were all very supportive because I was going to be up front, you know, with the light and being like.
Did you have the mic that you wear?
I have a mic.
Cool.
Like, yeah.
So you were teaching.
Yeah, I'm teaching like
I
step by
see.
step, like all the
Wow.
classes.
And you're nervous.
I'm really nervous, but everybody's like, "Oh, you did great." I was like, "Okay." Like it's so crazy to think that I'm doing this because I would have never thought I would be talking to people.
So how'd you get that first lesson or whatever? Like, how'd you put that together? Like, I'm going to teach you how to paint this. Where
And
did that
what
come
was
from?
it?
Yeah. What was
so
it?
the what we painted was a little palm tree. We were really colorful with some palm trees. So people always ask me that, like, "Oh, are all these your designs?" I'm like, "No, they're not. Like, I'm just an instructor, right?" So like some of them will be mine, but there's a lot of instructors that sell their
gotcha.
lessons, right, for you to teach. So that one was not mine.
I
So
see.
mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
So like a music teacher, right? They don't teach all their old
Yeah,
music.
like that's not like everything they
I've
wrote.
painted everything that's there. I've done it, but
You painted it, but yeah.
But
Yes.
you learned from somebody else.
yes,
Gotcha.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so
So
you had your first one, and how did it go?
I think it went well. My family was very supportive, and then we just kind of took off. We didn't even do like a grand opening or nothing like that. We were just kind of wild and winged it. And
We just went for it.
We just went for it, and I mean, I look back, I'm like, maybe we should have done it a different way, but who knows if we would have been better? Who knows?
Yeah,
you know, it
you
is what
just-
it is.
as long as
and
you
it
go
happened.
for it,
And
I
there's no
think.
second guessing. It was what it was supposed to be.
Yes.
And so you had said before that painting is a form of helping you with trauma
Yeah.
and therapy. So is that what you're hoping to help other people with, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. So I think it was in 2015 that I struggled a lot with anxiety. You know, we all have that. And I think it was because of that, because I was dealing with a stressful job and it wasn't something that was fulfilling my soul, you know?
Yeah.
There was so many factors. And I worked at a really good company at the time that allowed me to take some time off to kind of like, you know, get myself together. And I started painting. I had done it before, but very like just here and there. And I started painting, and it was just like very abstract. And that helped me so much. So when we opened the studio, that was one of my goals. Oh, excuse me. That was one of my goals, to have a place where people can show up and enjoy and not really think about it as therapy, but just like enjoy. So I never talk about it as therapy.
Yeah.
But to me, it is therapy. And during this time, actually, last year, my father was diagnosed with cancer, and he passed 2.5 months after. So it was like a very hard period in our lives. But if I didn't have the studio,
If you didn't have that, you didn't have
Yeah.
that outlet,
Yes,
that therapy, it would have
exactly.
took a different road.
yeah, I think like I lived through it again, and people didn't even know, right?
So how many events have you put on, do you think?
According to my website, it's been over 340 something.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, some of them have been canceled because sometimes we don't have class.
Oh.
But there's a lot more
Sure.
that I don't put them on my website because they're private events.
Yeah.
So over 300.
Wow,
Very
doing a
cool.
lot and making it happen.
That's
so you
right.
never thought you would be here, but here you are.
Never,
Look at
never.
you now.
Right? Yes, yes.
Yeah, and your husband, we'll give a shout out to him. He started Yuma Times, and that's
Yes.
how I met him.
Oh, cool.
And you had some events there and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we get him on. Is he teaching right now? He's at school?
Yeah, he's at school. he's teaching.
Oh, okay.
So he's busy.
We got to
he's
figure out
always
a day he could take off and come over here and talk about the vision
sure
behind that, because you've also used it to help, with Yuma Times, to highlight some local artists, some people here. Go into that a little bit briefly.
So he put up like a singing contest for local talents, and I thought it was so cool because there was just such a variety of people that came, and there's so much talent, and sometimes we just need a space for them, you know. And that's what happened. We had I love that there were like some young people, there were some older people, and they were all amazing, and they did like their trial runs at the studio, and then we did recordings, and it was just awesome, I think, to see them.
Yeah, your husband reached out to me. I got to be a judge, and it was great. Yeah, it was fun. So we'll talk about that when we get him on the show. Can you ask him to come on the show?
Yeah, of course I will. I'm sure he can make some time.
Yeah.
Cool. And so if people want to find out more or take a class, how do they do it?
Okay, they can always visit our website, brushItArtStudio.com. We have our classes there, or you can find us on Instagram or Facebook as well.
All right.
So proud of you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to go because we got to get her some water. We're going to do that right now.
Sorry, we're bad hosts.
Yeah,
we should
you're
have
okay.
had some
I know.
for you.
It's so bad. It's all right. But with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, Anthony Arnales, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
And you can find out more about KAWC at kawc.org, on Facebook at KAWC Radio, and on the awesome KAWC app. And stay tuned following our program for KOFA Midday Music.
And on tomorrow's show, we're going to have Crystal DeVoe. She makes bread, sourdough bread.
She's the queen.
Yeah, here it is much better for you. And we also have Chris Wheeler, who makes beer and bread. It's going together. It's a whole theme tomorrow.
Yes, and you can listen to the podcast version of our program and any past episodes at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio, and email us if you want to be a guest at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you again
so
for coming
much.
on.
My pleasure.
You did
Can't wait
great.
to go paint.
Yeah, and you're not an introvert. You did great.
You're
This is like I love
shining
it.
star.
Superstar. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter is sponsored by Yuma Electric Service, LLC, serving the Yuma area for more than 25 years. YumaElectricServiceLLC.com.